Welcome to the last of my tour videos, Master Pro B. The last one we've got is Sands from the 5th tee. You can see the scores so far, so I'm only 106 points away from the top. So to be honest, any round would get me top, although you notice this Hate Rose guy just below me is probably going to jump ahead of 357 E2. But anyway, I'm going to put in the best round I can. And we'll have a look at the ends at the placings and how many points I've got for each round, etc. So first one's a par 3. Again, I've recorded these downstairs a couple of days ago. I'm now up in my loft recording the audio over the top of it. Quite a big crosswind on this one, so I'll go way out to the right, and the pin is below me, although I'll not go just too far back for the elevation because I'm hoping it's going to hit the leaves on the tree, take a lot of the pace off it, and leave hopefully not too difficult putt for birdie. You'll notice I'm using perfect juice again. Not quite sure why sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. A lot depends on how confident I'm feeling. I'm going to hit the lines as close as I'd want them to. But it can make quite a big difference actually to accuracy. If you're not quite on the line and you need a really, you've got quite a small target to aim for, the slightest bit of deviation from that perfect zone line can result in, the ball going off the back of the green or not quite making it far enough. So there are benefits other than just the points to using the perfect juice. There's a fairly regulation. It was a bit of a tricky one that I left the ball. There's a bit of a hill between the ball and the hole, but managed a birdie. Onto the second. From the 5th tee, this is a draw for me. From lower tees, you can belt it between those two trees that you'll see in a moment. But from the 5th tee, if you try and do that, it's going to hit the tree and land in the sand and go out of bounds. So for this, I'll play a draw. Quite a heavy as a 3-yard tailwind. So the idea is I'm going to land it somewhere in the rough, just in front of the green to take the pace off it, and it should then roll onto the green. You have to be careful if you're a bit further left. It tends to stop before it reaches the green, so you have to hit it a little bit harder. But from here, you do want to get it a good few yards short of the green because it's quite a heavy downslope, and it will roll onto the green if you get it right. You'll notice I hit it a little bit below the line. A lot of the time when I'm kind of getting the distance, things are going through my mind, so I'm thinking, well, I remember last time I played this, I hit it a bit too hard. And then on the other hand, there's something saying, well, I don't want to hit it too hard, and I'll consider it, and I'll go a little bit harder or a little bit softer than the line a lot of the time. On this occasion, I got it right, within 4.4 yards for an eagle. I'm not shy of using guides this round. I really wanted to try and put a good round in because the last couple weren't so good. Well, certainly the round at Safari was pretty poor. The best I managed was 12 under. Did okay at Whitecliff in. And again, a bit of a silly mistake, a few silly mistakes at the first round at Interlaken. So I was one short of the perfect 16 under there, which not being punished for this week. But again, Master Pro A, you'll see 7, 8, 9 perfect rounds at courses like Interlaken out. With this one, you can play a high shot. It's quite difficult. You don't get a lot of green to aim for, and it can quite easily roll off the back. So I try and just clip the tree here to take the pace off it. You've got to be a bit careful because if you're a bit too soft, it can quite easily hit the inclined fairway before the green and not quite make it on. But with a bit of practice, this one isn't too tricky a hole. So you'll notice it hits the leaf there, and on it rolls. So again, should be a regulation eagle. Nothing too tricky there. So the next hole's a par 5. I still remember the first time I managed to drive it from the 3rd tee in the World Championship. I was so happy I managed to make it at last. Got to the stage now where you can actually drive it, so I can actually drive it from the 5th tee. It's a big distance, but it's not too tricky a hole, and it's a good chance to get an albatross. It's a hole that can set you apart. If you've got 3,000 plus stats, being able, I think you probably need about 3,200 to make the green here. And you'll notice I'm aiming to hit it just before the bunker. I want to land in the rough, a bit too hard and in the fairway just before the bunker. It can quite easily go off the back, and obviously too soft, you're going to be in the sand. So that's about my line. I'm helped here by quite a friendly wind. And you'll probably see on quite a few of these holes, we're taking a few tries to get it bang on the line. There's no time limit into it, as I think I've probably mentioned before, so by all means just sit there and keep trying until you get it bang on, as I did there. That's just about right, because I did hit the rough and couldn't have asked for much better than that. Nothing tricky about that putt. I seem to remember the next hole I played a bit of a loose drive. Let's see. I played the round. What I tend to do in tour is play my round. If I make a few stupid mistakes, I know I can do better, I'll just quit before the round ends. Benefit of that is you're not going to use, if you have been using juice and guides, by juice I mean perfect zone drink, it won't count them into us. So if you don't finish your round and you've used a guide on every hole and you've done terrible, if you quit your round, if you've got another chance obviously, then you get all your perfect zone drinks and juice and guides back. Now, if I remember rightly with this one, looking at where I'm hitting it, yeah, I've hit this too hard, and I can see it now looking back. It's just one of those things. There's a big tailwind, and it's skipped on, and if you look, it's not a great deal in it. Kind of 0.5% less, and it would have finished up on the green, but didn't on this occasion. So not too tricky a chip. It's it's going to move off to the left a little bit, but again, I just about managed to get it in. So at this point, I'm on for a perfect round. I think that all comes crashing around my ears in the next hole. Yeah, what I did on this hole, stupidly, is I thought I'd try something different. 9 times out of 10, if you try something different, it'll come unstuck. I thought I'd try a sky shot, which is probably a sensible thing to do with that right to left wind. This hole, when you've got lower stats, you can fade it and just clip the rough. You'll probably see it in a moment. You can clip the rough just after the sand in front of the green, and it'll roll on quite nicely onto the green. But as stats increase, fade seems to fly lower, and it's not affected by the rough as much. It can quite easily fly off the back. For that reason, what I normally do and what I should have done here is just play a normal straight shot over to the left of the green, and it's kind of dish-shaped the green, so it'll fall in. You'll see here what I tried to do, stupidly, is play a sky shot to the right, and again let the incline tip it down, but it just wasn't hard enough. I've probably said before, I haven't really got my head around the sky shot. I need to do, and I think I'll plan on doing a video at some point, which will help me as much as anybody else, working out the how the wind affects it, and some sort of set of rules that I can use when I'm trying to pick up the distance for a sky shot, because at the minute it's quite easy to work out per club, but you'll notice, you get it bang on for, a 3-wood, for example, you'll change to a 4-wood or a driver, and it's just way different. It's, you can literally move the marker by half a yard. If it switches clubs, the ball will go 20 yards in a different direction, possibly even more. But anyway, so that was my mistake there. Should have really still been on for a perfect round at this point, but I think I get back to form here. This hole is a low shot. From the lower tees, you can just play a standard straight shot, but from the 5th tee, if you try to, you'll clip the trees that you'll see lining the left of the fairway. So for that reason, a low shot's what to play. Now with this right to left wind, I'm just being a little bit careful not to hit that bunker to the left of my marker there, because the wind will push it across that way. But I've gone far enough across for that just about not to be a problem. Obviously in the wind, a low shot will not be as affected as a standard or a high shot or anything with much more loft on it, it's going to be affected more by the wind the longer it's in the air. So that was a low shot. Again, from experience, I knew roughly where to hit that, and it's ended up with exactly as I wanted. Quite a standard putt. So that's 7 holes down, 2 to go. Next one's a par 3. Again, this is an interesting one. As my stats were lower, I used to tend to play a high shot here. But the more your stats increase, the less loft your high shot's going to have, and it becomes harder and harder to hold this green, which is, it's got a big bank at the front that then rolls away. So you can still just about make it with a high shot, but since they've introduced this new punch shot, it's ideal for this hole, because what you can do is hit the bank. You just hit it once you get your distance right, so it hits the bank in front of the green, which loops it up, takes the pace off it, and it'll then roll down the hill, especially if the pin's at the back there. And it's not too tricky a hole to play. It's like I say, in certain winds, it's got harder and harder as my stats have increased this hole. Again, I hit that bang on, but I must have made a last minute adjustment. I think I probably hit this a little bit harder. See, I'm thinking about it. Sometimes you overthink it. You had it right first time and you'll think, oh, I'll hit it a bit harder, and it goes off the back, which is annoying. So I hit that just under the line. I think that's probably what I'm going to go for there. Yeah. So I kind of thought I need to hit it a little bit harder than this. You do have to be careful because it can quite easily get stuck up at the front there, which that nearly did. So I think it was probably the right thing to hit it a little bit harder than the marker I'd made there. And it's left again a fairly regulation putt within 5 yards. Anything within 5.4, and you get the extra points for a nice approach. So we should see, as well as getting so far a decent score, my points total should be pretty good at the end. So on to the last, which is a par 5. With the new 10-yard balls and 15-yard tees, I can actually just about drive this. In fact, I can drive it without them. The only way to do it is to bounce it off the path. However, I can only drive it in a right to left wind, and if I remember rightly, we'll see, yeah, I get a left to right wind. So potentially it was a slim chance I could get an albatross on this hole, which would have put me 17 under, but I'm ruling that out. So unless I manage to hole in here, best I can do is 16 under, which from the 5th tee is pretty good. Even in the Master Pro A, there'd be a chance that would be top of the rankings. So again, just based on experience, I know roughly how hard to hit that and not go off the end, although I have trickled off once or twice, which is extremely annoying. This shot I think I play a bit loosely. This is one where if you play from kind of measurements and from previous experience where you think the ball's going to land, you can get caught out on this hole because it always plays 5 or 10 yards shorter than it actually is. So you need to adjust for that, and I didn't quite adjust as much as I should have done. So what we'll see here is what I wanted it to do is hit the fairway in front of the green, and I think what I actually do is I land it on the green and it rolls away from the pin, leaving me a much harder putt than I wanted. So I probably should have took just another 2 or 3 yards off that, you'll see, and when it lands, it's landing on a downhill slope, so it's gone way away from the pin. So it's left me with a tricky putt to make 16 under. So technically a perfect round, now that I can reach this green in certain winds, I guess would be 18 under, so I'm a little bit short of that. But it can be an unpredictable course, Sands. You'll always see some big scores there, but you will see some terrible scores there as well, because it's got some tricky greens and there are some hazards that can cause you problems. So this lined up pretty well. Not too much of an adjustment to make, so I'm just going to try and get this bang on the line. The pin's not in a position where it's likely to roll over, and there it is, straight down the middle. So 16 under, pretty pleased with that. Certainly in World Pro B, you might find, Master Pro B, you might find a couple of 16, maybe even 17 under in Master Pro A, so that might not even be good enough, but for the level I'm at, quite pleased with that. So what I'll do is I'll go back in and get the scores as of today, which is Monday evening, so it's about to finish, and I'll tag that on to the end of this video. So there we have it. If we have a look, ranked first overall and first in all 4 rounds. To be honest, with my stats, it's really where I should be winning 9 times out of 10, depending on who else is in the group, of course. Harder challenge is going to be Master Pro A, which I will have a go at some point. I haven't won it once or twice. I think I've got 2. Yes, there's 2 Master Pro A's. So there's a chance I can win it, and at some point I'm sure I will again. I've got the stats to do it, but the competition you're up against, you need a lot of perfect rounds, probably 3 out of 4 perfect rounds to have a chance, which is a real challenge, as you've seen this week. The reason Master Pro A's harder is because all the top players will stay in Master Pro A because you get more World Championship tickets. So if you're in Master Pro B, I think I get 38. Moving up to Master Pro A, it'll give me, I think, 40. So 2 extra tickets could be 10,000 more points in the World Championship. So really, if you really want to challenge the World Championship, you need to be a Master Pro A. For that reason, that's why all the top players are there. So thanks for watching. Feel free to like, share, much appreciated if you do, and comment if you've got any questions. See you next time.